guys, welcome back to the Evelution channel. My name is Eve and today I'm joined by my husband again. So that means he did very well in our last video. So good job, dear.
Thank you. So guys, this is Alan and welcome to the show.
Yeah. So happy New Year to everyone. Welcome back. I hope you had a Merry Christmas and a really great holiday season. Shout out to all the international students out there, all the people that are working, out of their home country and you're not able to maybe be with your family this year or this season. Hopefully you were able to celebrate with friends and still had a really enjoyable holiday season. And if you're new to Evelution, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you're able to be updated with every single one of our videos. And welcome if you are new. If you're coming back to us, welcome back. We have a lot of great stuff planned for this year and really great advice and videos and career advice. I'm really excited. So happy 2017 to everyone. So today we're actually going to be talking about our cultural differences. So I want to shout out to one of my subscribers, Rai. So she had requested for us to do, she welcomed Alan back and requested for us to do a video about just being an interracial couple and any cultural differences that we've encountered and just to kind of share about that. So stay tuned. So I want to start off by talking about our background. So I am actually half Russian. So my mom is Russian and then my dad's Tanzanian. For those of you that don't know where Tanzania is, it's in Africa. It's in Eastern Africa, and the way I explain it to people is Barack Obama, he's from Kenya, it's the country next to it that nobody really knows about. So anyway, I'm half Russian, half Tanzanian. I lived in Africa for a majority of my life until I came to Canada for university.
So yeah, my background is I'm actually Croatian, growing up and living in Bosnia and Herzegovina for the longest time. Now I'm a resident of Canada and my roots date, well, I could say German Slovenia. Yeah.
Okay, and this is a disclaimer. So anything that we talk about in this video is just a product of our experiences, our life opinions, the things that we are exposed to or we're exposed to and what we know about different cultures. So please, if you're an emotional person and you're kind of sensitive about this kind of stuff, please swipe and go to the next video. We have a lot of other videos. So this video may not be for you if you're very sensitive, but I think there's a lot of great stuff that you can learn. We live in a very diverse world. We live in a global world. So yeah, if you're interested in knowing about a little bit about our culture and our differences and what we've noticed, and so yeah, stay tuned.
And about us too.
Yeah, stay tuned.
So the first difference is the food, and I'm gonna explain why. So I'm Southern European, so Bosnian, Croatian. And our food is mostly potatoes, meat, veggies, bread. Like we eat bread like crazy. We eat bread on top of bread. So when I went to Africa, Tanzania, okay, first of all, I thought I can handle spicy food because there's a big difference what we Europeans call spicy food and what African people call spicy food. So when I was trying some dishes and I encountered pili pili, oh my god.
Pili pili is like spice, I guess.
It's really hot.
Like sriracha, but like better. Yeah.
Also what I noticed that African food is really flavorful and just in general really spicy, and it's also prepared in a different way, like different oils. It's also like mixed with all different, like what's the dish called with the banana dish?
Like plantains with meat and like.
Yeah, like I never like I could never imagine that you can.
It's
combine,
like cooked bananas.
Yeah, but it's like in a stew, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. I'm not saying it's bad. It's great. It's just I never encountered it, and that's
It's very creative.
It's the first big difference that I noticed.
Yeah, I would say too, from my Russian side, so my grandma or my uncle, for example, like they eat bread with everything. Like it's almost like they get withdrawal when they don't have something with bread.
Yeah.
And so for me, you know, maybe if I grew up in Russia, that would be a thing for me too. But for me, it's like totally new, and you know, it's interesting to see because it's so uncommon in like, yes, we eat bread in Africa, but we don't eat it with, like, it's more of like a breakfast food, right? So yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, the next thing is music or dance, and we're having a little bit of trouble describing what it is that we want to say.
Yeah.
So like, African culture has a lot of like dance, like we can just bust a move anywhere we are, and like we love that, and like, you know, and that's not to say that Caucasians, you know, don't like dancing. It's just a different type of groove and stuff. I don't know, what do you think?
Well, I just personally think that, first of all, I'm a person who likes classic rock, so not that kind of music that I can just go and turn up and dance. I'm not the type of person. But I also have friends who like love loud music, like techno kind of stuff. But like, we're talking about African music compared to European music.
Yeah.
I think it's like different because it's more involved into like, just in general, dance and then just dance. It's just all about the dancing. Like, the song is not complete, but there's like just a great big dance at the end. That's just based on my observation. I could be totally wrong.
For what, Africans or for Europeans?
No, for Africans. But like Europe, like from where I come from, yes, we have dance too, like in some certain music videos or like when we go out. But it's a different type of dance.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, I don't know if we're being very clear. Like, I don't know, like Africans, like, it's just more like smooth, you know?
Yeah.
And whereas, say you go to like a club, oh, this is a really good example. So say you go to like a club, right? You go to an all-African club versus an all-techno club. And that's not to say like black people that can't like techno, whatever. We're generalizing, so don't be sensitive, okay?
Yeah.
So, you know, when I go to a techno club, it's like, you're jumping the whole time. It's like, bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
You're just, you know, up and down, up and down. Whereas when you go to African, it's more whining, it's more, I don't know. I think you guys get it though.
Yeah, like I'll give you guys an example. Like, we went to Montenegro this September, and we also been last Christmas in Africa, and we went clubbing in both places. So the clubbing in Africa is like just different, and the clubbing in Montenegro is also really different too. Different in the sense that it's like in Africa you give each other like space so you can dance with your partner or with your friends. Whereas in Montenegro it's just too crowded and everybody just like, I don't know, like jumps around and like not a specific dance move, you know?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know, it's just
it's
more
like
you just jump up and down.
It's
the
like
whole time.
every song in Africa has a specific dance move. Where in Europe, not really, but there is also examples that we do.
Hopefully we were clear. So part of cultural differences can definitely be your language or your accent, depending on where you're from. For me, I grew up in Africa, but my mom is Russian, or half my family is Russian. But living and just kind of being in Canada, my accent has kind of evolved over time. But it's, it can be a cultural difference. I don't know that it's a big difference, but it can definitely be an aspect of cultural differences. It can impact how you understand each other, how you communicate.
So well, I'm only 6 or so years here in Canada, and I can say that yes, I do have an accent, and my English is not as fluent as yours is. I think that's also a big difference because sometimes I don't know how to express myself in certain words because I just don't know how to translate it from my language into English. So I use the long way around describing things, which can be annoying sometimes. And I mean, as long as you're like willing to like really give your partner time and to express and understanding, you shouldn't have any problems.
Yeah, and I mean for us, like half my side is Russian, so it's Slavic languages are pretty similar. So certain words I'll say in Russian that you would understand because it's Croatian and they're all Eastern Europeans. It's kind of a unique situation. But yeah, I think people experience it differently, and depending on where you're from, where you grew up, languages will evolve over time. But as long as you're able to communicate, yeah, it should be fine.
Yeah. So another difference that me and her share is the hairstyle, hair texture. So like we have just completely different hair textures. Like for example, you can have perfectly straight hair and you go out, it's raining, you come back with curly hairs.
The struggle is real.
And I didn't know a lot, honestly. I knew very little about hair, but that was like a big, nice surprise because I like her hair curly.
Yeah, so I can go straight and curly in a minute, basically.
Yeah, we're not going to this a lot.
Yeah, it's not really like a cultural difference, but we thought it was something fun to put in there because it's obvious, but like, you know, if you've never been exposed to something like that, like especially you, I think it's interesting.
It's just a fun fact.
Yeah. So another cultural difference can be when it comes to wedding traditions. So, in most African cultures, you have what's called a dowry. And so the man goes to the bride's family and gives like money as like, not like, you're not buying the bride, but it's like, I guess it's a sign of respect and just to show the parents that like, you know, here's your, not in exchange for your daughter. I know it sounds really bad, but like traditionally it's because the woman was seen as like they did housework and they cooked and they did a lot of stuff for the family. And so when a daughter leaves the family, you have, you know, like missing a position or a role. It sounds so bad. But yeah, so I think that's where that whole thing started, right? Now I don't know much about Caucasian, but from what I know in Canada and the US, there is no such thing. Like, you know, you get married, you decide to get married, and there's no, you can ask the parents if you want, but there's no like bride price or anything like that. So
yeah, like also when it comes to weddings in Croatia or Bosnia, like obviously there's like, everybody has their own tradition. I'm just gonna talk from my Catholic side. We have like all kinds of small traditions, if I can call it like that. We have something similar like my wife just explained. Like we go usually a couple of cars to the bride's house, and then we ask permission to like take the bride with us in the cars, and then usually like let's say the dad or the mom, something like that, and then we drive around the car and honk with flags a lot until we go through. And also speeches. I've been to many weddings in Bosnia and Croatia, and we don't do a lot of speeches. We do like a little bit, but in Africa, from what I noticed, they do a lot of speeches. And on the Russian side as well.
Yeah, so like at our wedding, like my side talked a lot, and I guess I guess it is a Russian African thing. Interesting that that's similar in that way, but yeah, the Croatian side mostly doesn't talk at weddings, like make speeches and stuff. So yeah. I think another thing is like with like weddings, like in Africa, you raise money. So say we're getting married, you would go to your friends and family with like envelopes where they're meant to put money in to basically raise funds for your wedding. I know in Canada, we do like stag and does. So basically it's an event you buy tickets for, that goes towards the wedding, and then at the stag and do, there's different like events and raffle tickets and stuff like that, and that's kind of how you raise money. But it's interesting, like it's different ways, but the point is we want to make money for our wedding, you know?
Yeah, I think everybody wants
to. Yeah, and then with Croatians, I personally really like this because at our wedding, I didn't want to get presents, I wanted cha-ching. So it just so happens that instead of giving gifts and stuff, like Croatians give money, which is great because we had a destination wedding and it was just more convenient. And I mean registries are cute and stuff, but Like if I don't like a lamp and now I'm stuck with it, it's like, or if I return it, then I have to buy something else in exchange. It's just annoying.
Yeah,
so,
we're not trying to say like you guys should prefer to get money instead of gifts. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that that's the tradition. That's the tradition what I have, the tradition what she has, and yeah.
Yeah. So this next point isn't really a cultural difference. As I was preparing to talk about this, it just came across my mind and I thought I would share. So growing up in Africa, race or racial stereotypes or racial conversations, they generally don't really happen. My first encounter with a racial type of conversation was when I came to North America. And maybe it's because, obviously it's because of the history. Like, so if you're an African who lives in Africa or grew up in Africa, you may not be as sensitive to like racial stuff or racial stereotypes because it's just not talked about there, and it's a little more inclusive. Like in Tanzania, we're all so mixed, and race has just never been a topic of conversation, you know? And whereas with African Americans, because of the rich history behind that, I can see, you know, the difference in conversation too. So, yeah.
So basically, guys, let's just all get along the good old Canadian way. And like you also want to say that like with all these things, all these negative and bad things with what's happening in the world, I mean, come on guys, let's just get it together, work for a better future for all of us. And it doesn't matter like what race, what ethnicity you are, what's your religion. The most important thing is that we're all humans and that we just have to work with each other to survive on this beautiful planet. So yeah, it's just a message from me and her that like whoever listens to this, like the video or not, just understand one thing, that like there's no other way than working together to make this place a beautiful place for all of us.
It's all about love.
Yes.
So there you have it, guys. Hopefully this video was educational and helpful. It was a really interesting topic. Like it made us really think about our differences culturally, and so thank you, Rai, for actually recommending this to us. And if you're new to the channel, again, welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I do videos on career and relationship advice, and once in a while, my husband will join me. So if you have any more topics for the two of us, feel free to comment below. If you have any topics that you want me to do, comment below as well. Thank you, and have a great start of the new year.
Have a nice.